I want to start out by being brutally honest here. I'm a financial trader, which means I make money with money, and I'm damn good at it too. And in less than a minute, I'll explain both why that's so important and how that's going to have a monumental impact on your life, even if you've never traded so much as a baseball card. You see, the truth is, if you were to truly understand the stock market, you could do extremely well. But although you can get stinking rich, making a living trading stocks is just far too complex and way beyond most people's reach. And because of this, I never thought in a million years I'd be making a video and talking to the general public about what I do. So why am I talking to you right now? Well, to put it bluntly, a single piece of technology recently changed everything. I stumbled across something that's so incredibly simple and so loaded with profit potential that anyone, and I truly mean anyone, suddenly has the opportunity to make life-changing returns starting with as little as 25 bucks. Just how profitable is this? Well, put it this way. If you had invested that $25 in the beginning of 2012, it would have been worth almost $4,000 within a year. That means $100 would have turned into nearly $16,000. 500 into nearly $80,000. Yep, just by letting it sit there and doing nothing. No skills required, no training needed. What am I talking about? Bitcoin. And look, if you're anything like me, you've probably heard a little something about this ingenious new type of currency. But what do you really know about it? Well, it's time you found out the dirty truth, because what I'm about to reveal to you will change the way you look at money for the rest of your life. Oh, and if you think you know everything about Bitcoin, good or bad, then you especially need to keep watching, because in a couple of minutes, I'm going to completely blow your mind with a two-part secret that I guarantee you never knew existed. But before we get any further, let me give you a hint right now about Bitcoin's dirtiest little secret. As you may know, Bitcoin's price moves up and down, just like a stock. In fact, it's moved up 17,000% in just the last year or two. And you could have become a bona fide multi-millionaire owning just the tiniest little bit of it. But did you know you can make even more money when Bitcoin goes down in price rather than when it goes up? I'm guessing you had no idea. Well, in the next 7 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how it works and how the next massive trend in creating the closest thing to overnight wealth that's ever existed is lying right at your fingertips. Hi, my name's Chris Dunn. I've been trading the financial markets for a little over 12 years now. I regularly speak from stage at the largest trading expos in the world. I have over 9,000 students from 34 different countries, and my entire philosophy is to build wealth, live well, and give back, which is exactly what this presentation is about today. See, while most of the financial industry focuses on helping the super rich continue to get richer, it's been my mission to help the rest of us find true financial freedom. But I'll admit, with the odds stacked against the little guy, the past 7 years have been a difficult journey. Until now. Bitcoin, and more specifically, the secret I'm about to reveal in this video about Bitcoin, has changed that forever. Anyone, that means you, can get started with a tiny investment and have the ability to dramatically change your financial future. But listen, don't take my word for it. Check out this chart from Forbes magazine. If you got lucky and picked one of the top performing stocks in 2013, like Netflix, you could have turned that $100 into $400. Not bad, right? But if you would have invested that same $100 in Bitcoin just last year, it would have been worth over $5,000 by the end of the year. That means $500 would have turned into $25,000. So I'll say that again. How big is this opportunity? Well, imagine if you bought Apple, Microsoft, or Google on day one. Where would you be financially today? Millions of dollars in profit conservatively. And that's the kind of potential I'll prove to you truly exists. So sit back, shut down your email, close Facebook, and focus on every word I'm about to say. Because what I'm about to reveal is so powerful, so new, and so unique, it will leave your head spinning in a way you can't even imagine, just like it did mine when I first discovered Bitcoin myself about 15 months ago. Let me tell you how it all began for me. Believe it or not, it all started with just one single email. Maybe just like the one you received today. It came from a trusted, very successful investor who was managing well over $100 million. It simply said, Chris, man, Bitcoin. Find out about it now. It's going to explode and you need to be on the inside of it. But if you wait, it could be too late. Back then, I heard a little about Bitcoin, and at first I thought it was a Ponzi scheme or an outright scam. But when Forbes magazine, pretty much the most respected financial magazine in the world, started talking a lot about Bitcoin, it really got my attention. And guess who followed? The New York Times, CNN, NBC, Time Magazine, pretty much everyone else under the sun. The more I dug, the more obvious it became that for the first time in my professional trading career, I'd found exactly what I was looking for. It was like being hit over the head with a 60-pound sledgehammer. Because an opportunity like this simply never existed before, not even close. Oh, and the opportunity I'm talking about is not what you think it is. It's far bigger, because the big secret I'm about to share will shatter your reality of what you ever imagined was possible. But more on that in a minute. Anyway, once I realized just how powerful Bitcoin was becoming, I saw a real way to take regular people like my in-laws, my parents, my neighbors, literally anyone, and show them a way to potentially turn a tiny investment into a huge nest egg. Now look, there have been so many non-legit ways that people have claimed to make huge returns like this over the years, and I was sure this had to be one of them. Penny stocks, magic trading robots, Ponzi schemes. It's a long list. So I initially thought, why would Bitcoin be any different? Well, I was at least 100 times more skeptical than you might be right now. But the more I dug, the more it all made sense. Let me tell you why. Bitcoin is digital cash that's not controlled by any government. You can send money around the world with no government red tape and hardly any fees. And it has those too big to fail banks shaking in their boots because it takes the power away from corrupt politicians and actually gives it back to the people. That's right, the people are in control, not the corrupt governments that control the value of their own currency. And the reason Bitcoin is so valuable today is because people trust it. In fact, it's now trusted so much that large companies like Dell, the Dish Network, Overstock.com, Tesla prefer to take it as payment over American dollars. That's right, they prefer it. In fact, the next time you see an ad for Overstock on TV, you'll see "We accept Bitcoin" right on your TV screen. And almost daily, you can hear about new companies and influential people getting behind the Bitcoin revolution. Restaurants accept it, food trucks accept it, and they even have Bitcoin bank machines now that you can just walk up and instantly buy Bitcoin or withdraw cash anytime you want. Pretty mind-blowing, right? So people who just bought Bitcoin and sat on them were making insane, life-changing amounts of money as it exploded in value. And get this, Bitcoin is expected to go up even more in the next 24 months. That means you need to get in on it now before it truly hits the mainstream. Because what it's done in the past is nothing compared to what it's expected to do in the future. It's like a classic bell curve where the early bird gets the cash. So don't be like the guy who waits till Google is trading at 1,000 a share when you can be the guy who got it at 49. Because of Bitcoin, we're about to see a wealth transfer unlike anything we've seen in nearly 100 years. Think about it like the California gold rush, or living in Texas on a 100-acre farm back in 1902, then boom, you strike oil. Wealth like you wouldn't believe, where the poor or average person becomes richer than the multimillionaires who have worked their entire life for their money. Think about being employee number 3 at Microsoft and getting stock options that, once they went public, were worth literally millions and millions of dollars. In fact, Max Wright, a renowned expert on Bitcoin, says the following: I've invested over $50,000 of my own money into Bitcoin. I've already made over 500% in under a year. Bitcoin's upside potential is so great that even a small amount invested today could one day fund your entire retirement and bring it on much sooner than you thought. In other words, if you just learn how to buy some Bitcoin, as many others have already discovered, your money can grow in ways you've never imagined. And Max is just one example. There are hundreds, if not thousands of others who have already hit retirement levels and are done with the rat race forever. Let me give you more proof. Look at this. Remember, I told you it was so easy a kid could do it? Well, 15-year-old entrepreneur Eric Finman, who decided to invest a $1,000 gift from his grandmother into Bitcoin in 2012, after just holding on to Bitcoin for just 1 year, he sold them for $100,000. And here's an article about a guy in Norway, Chris Koch, bought $27 worth of Bitcoin on a whim and promptly forgot about it. When he checked his wallet later, it was worth, get this, $886,000. And there are tragedies as well. Forbes recently reported on a guy named James Howells who set up his Bitcoin wallet on his old desktop and left it. Forgetting that he did so, he threw his old computer out when he got a new one. That wallet, $9 million worth. Imagine how this guy feels. In fact, over the course of the last 24 to 36 months alone, Bitcoin has shot up in value almost 17,000%. Yeah, 17,000. And it's made people wealthy beyond their dreams. So here's what you need to understand. Pay extra close attention to what I'm about to say. All of these guys were a bunch of yahoos who just made money by buying Bitcoin and then forgot about it. These guys didn't have the first clue about what to actually do with their Bitcoin. All three forgot they even had them and then were shocked at their increase in value. They all made life-changing income by accident. Think about that. If people are profiting by accident, imagine what you can do when you actually know what you're doing. If you had bought some Bitcoin just last year and let it sit there, you would have outperformed Google, Microsoft, Apple, and world-famous investor Warren Buffett by 100-fold. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do just that. I'm going to show you how to buy Bitcoin and get your share of these potentially life-changing returns right off the bat. I'll teach you about the best places to buy your Bitcoin and how to keep it protected so that as it sits in your wallet, it just grows and grows. But simply learning how to buy and hold Bitcoin might just be the best opportunity to come along in over 100 years if you know what you're doing. And if that's all you want to do, I'm going to give you the tools to do it like a pro in no time flat. But as incredible as all that sounds, that's not even the tip of the iceberg, because I'm about to go one massive step further. This is where you really need to lean in close, especially for those of you who thought you knew everything about Bitcoin. Remember that two-part secret? Here's part one, and it's big, mind-blowingly big. When you buy Bitcoin, you can trade it like a stock, and it's about as easy as trading baseball cards. But the bottom line is that you can supercharge your returns. That's right, with just one or two simple 15-minute trades a month, you can exponentially increase your profits over just buying and holding it. No kidding. It's like pouring gasoline on a fire. It will absolutely explode your returns. I can't overstate the power of what I just said. Think about that for a second. You can make incredible exponential gains on your money by doing nothing but buying and holding it. Just imagine what can happen when you know how to actually trade it. And why learn how to trade it? Let me explain. Now, I'm not saying that you have to trade it, just that when you realize that it's as easy as making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you'll want to trade it. Over the past year or so, we've seen about a half a dozen massive fluctuations in price. I'm talking huge increases in price and temporary crashes in price. And the uneducated person thinks Bitcoin is just another bubble and then laughs when Bitcoin's price decreases. But if you know when to get in and when to get out, you stand to make gains much higher than everyone else who's just holding it. It's hard to imagine gains even higher than what Bitcoin did last year, but it's true. And that's why the time is completely of the essence. Now is the time for you to get in. Think about it. $100 turned into $16,000. And you don't have to take my word for it. Just go look it up in Forbes, CNN, the New York Times. Just look anywhere. It happened. It's pure fact. But if you learn how to trade it and you make profitable trades, odds are you'll make way more money than just buying and holding it. For example, let's say that you missed the first two massive increases in price and you recently invested $100 in Bitcoin. After just holding it for a few months, you'd be up about $618. Not bad, right? But if you took that same $100 and combined it with the power of trading it, you could have nearly quadrupled your returns, seeing about $2,142 in profit potential. And by the way, the trades on this chart are all trade predictions I made publicly to thousands of my students. More on that in a minute. So instead of just waiting for Bitcoin to go up on its own, you can trade it just once or twice a month and multiply your gains exponentially by simply buying and selling it as it moves up and down. And get this, almost no one is doing this effectively. So my secret sauce and what I do that almost nobody else is doing is I take the raw power of Bitcoin and multiply it by the power of trading it. And there's never been anything close to the opportunity that exists right now. It's truly beyond words. And here's the really big one, guys. This is part 2 of the secret I promised to reveal. Are you sitting down? Because this is going to knock you over. I'm going to show you exactly how to profit when Bitcoin goes down. Yes, you heard it right. When everyone else is running for the hills, scared to death, you'll be cleaning up with your biggest profits yet. So how does that work? Well, in the same way that you can bet on a team losing the Super Bowl, you can bet on Bitcoin going down. You'll discover exactly how I do that for massive profit, which increases your profit potential exponentially. Didn't know that was possible? Exactly. Neither does almost anyone else. Now are you beginning to feel the power of this? I really hope so. So the next time some uneducated chucklehead says, "Oh, you got to watch out because Bitcoin can really go down," you can silently laugh in their face just like I do, all the way to the bank. Pretty impressive, right? And it's stupidly simple. I could teach a chimpanzee to do it. That's why, as a trader, I'm now 100% convinced that if you know what I know, you can begin to build wealth with as little as 50 or $100 in your pocket and as little as 15 minutes or so a couple times a month. Yep, that's all the time it takes. Just a tiny fraction of your time a month to supercharge your returns. Bitcoin is a market offering massive advantages at every turn. No other market, not stocks, not currencies, not even gold or silver even compare. You want to know why? What if we took an NBA team and put them in a high school league? It would be like taking candy from a baby, a straight up unfair advantage. So I'm Michael Jordan at my peak playing against 11-year-old Johnny Average from Timbuktu. And that's exactly the advantage you'll have when you trade Bitcoin knowing what I know. This is the equivalent of being in the garage with Steve Jobs or looking over Mark Zuckerberg's shoulder as he created the very first Facebook page. So right now, as in today, it's the biggest opportunity for the little guy to be part of the next wave of Bitcoin success stories. And that's where you come in. I'm going to show you how with a minimal investment in Bitcoin, 50 or even $100, you can start planning for a secure financial future. Introducing the Bitcoin Wealth Alliance. Remember, I started this quest to see if I could find something that anyone could use to create real wealth, simply and easily. And during the course of my research, I stumbled on a ton of information, but I also came across scam after scam after scam. Make millions overnight with Bitcoin. I made $80,000 in 30 days with my Bitcoin trading robot. And robots don't work. Sorry, guys. It's a minefield of misinformation out there, and if you're not careful, you might get pulled into a scheme that leaves you with nothing. So I started the Bitcoin Wealth Alliance to help people just like you. So here's what you're going to get when you join me today. You'll discover all the basics of Bitcoin and why it's headed towards becoming the bellwether currency of this century. I've broken it down into 5 short and easy to digest video modules showing you step by step exactly what you need to know. You can finish it all off on a Sunday afternoon or an evening or two after work. Things like exactly how and where to buy your very first Bitcoin quickly, safely, and securely. Make a mistake here and you're done before you begin. So I cover every last trick to ensure that your investment is as safe as Fort Knox. You'll also learn everything about how to safely store your coins on or offline. And this is essential because Bitcoin is just like cash or gold. If you lose it, it's gone forever. But you never will when I show you what to do. So if the buy and hold hands-off strategy is for you, I'll happily show you how to put your money in the bank just by doing that. Plus, you'll see how I predicted the downfall of the biggest Bitcoin trading exchange months in advance. See, I have my ear to the ground and I'll always have you covered. But we're just getting started. You'll also get my Bitcoin Trading Foundation. This is where the rubber really meets the road. I'll show you exactly how to start making money trading and investing in Bitcoin. Regardless of whether you've ever bought a single stock, I'll teach you how to go from complete beginner in Bitcoin to a pro trader in no time flat. Because if you're okay learning what an average 11-year-old can handle, I'll show you exactly how to trade like a professional, allowing you to make more than just buying and holding. So you probably want to know how much. But first, how would your life be different if you had a rock solid, simple to use, and incredibly efficient method to secure your future? In these uncertain financial and economic times, what would it mean to your family? How could you help your loved ones create a nest egg of their very own in the process? Face it, almost all the other investment opportunities available today take a giant wad of cash even to crack open the door. And if all you want to do is learn how to buy and hold it, I'll show you how to convert that $20 bill into a Bitcoin investment that could be worth thousands, even tens of thousands, by doing nothing more than just learning how to go out and get some. Which, by the way, I can teach you in about an hour. There's no minimum investment, so there's no barrier to entry. Think of your kids or grandkids. When you have this knowledge and understand how to trade Bitcoin efficiently, You can easily show little Tommy how to take his allowance and start his own Bitcoin wallet and then watch it grow and grow. So what does it cost to join the Bitcoin Wealth Alliance? Not nearly as much as you might think. I could pitch this to other investors, and the good folks I know would happily pay $2,000 to access this kind of information. Keep in mind, many are calling Bitcoin a revolution, a once-in-a-century investment like Texas Oil or Microsoft before it went public. That's the kind of power we're talking about here. So I think it would be well worth a $2,000 investment, but that's nowhere near what I'm going to charge. I want you to make it big. Nothing would make me happier. So for a limited time, and only for those who act now and join me in the inaugural release of the Bitcoin Wealth Alliance, it won't even be $1,000. It won't even be $500. Heck, that's a car payment. It's not even going to be $250. Although that's my price tag after I take on my first group. And luckily for you, this is the first ever release. So if you think about all you're getting, you'll have to agree that $100 is a completely fair price. But you're not going to pay that either. Right now, with this special offer, you'll get access to this entire training system for just $47. Less than a nice dinner out at your local steakhouse. That's right, just $47 right now, and you get it all. Now, since you're still watching, I know you're serious, and I applaud you for that. So I'm going to do something else for you today to make absolutely sure you become a member of the Bitcoin Wealth Alliance right now. You'll see a timer running below right now. If you join before the timer runs out, you'll get an additional discount and pay only $37 for instant access. But if you wait, you'll pay the full $47 just like everyone else. You see, to be successful in life, you really need to make quick decisions and execute on them. All of the wealthiest people in history were able to take quick, decisive action. So grab your copy before the timer runs out and you'll pay only $37. If you hesitate, you'll pay $47. If you don't act at all, you'll be hearing about someone else's Bitcoin success story wishing it was you. So grab your discount before the timer runs out and you'll be in the driver's seat from today onward. One last thing. For a limited time, I'm doing something extra special to welcome you. I've got 2 incredible bonuses when you join today. First up is bonus number 1. Did you know there's other versions of Bitcoin? So just like silver is to gold, other altcoins, as they're called, pair with Bitcoin. Did you also know there are massive profit potential with these as well? Well, in this bonus, I go into great detail about which altcoins are big money makers and which ones to stay far away from. And this module alone is worth more than I'm asking for the entire course. But by now, you know I love to over-deliver. I did it for my trading clients over the past 7 years, and I'm going to do it for you too. So when you join me right now, I'll also be throwing in bonus number 2. Check this out. If you or anyone you know owns a small business, I'll show you how to start accepting Bitcoin, opening the door for hundreds of new customers overnight. Imagine the flood of new business when you can proudly say, "We accept Bitcoin." Or imagine how grateful your friend who has that small business will be when you can show them what you know. They'll love you for this, believe me. And just to make completely sure you're not putting it all on the line, I'm going to take away all the risk. Yep, all of it. When you join me in the Bitcoin Wealth Alliance today, you get your world-class Bitcoin trading education. And if at any time in the first full 60 days you think I'm not completely over-delivering, you can ask for your money back, and I'll happily give it to you. No questions asked. No hassle whatsoever. Instant refund. That's my rock-solid personal guarantee. So that's it. I urge you to act now. Look, I want you to be on the right side of history. And when it comes down to it, you have a couple of options. You can sit by the wayside and watch this revolution go down around you and wish you had gotten in at the beginning while you see other people cashing out of their Bitcoins. And the sooner you get started, the sooner you stand to profit. I bet you know someone who could have bought a property that's now worth double or triple what they would have paid, right? Well, think of Bitcoin as that, only 30, 50, or 100 times more. Who knows? Bitcoin is going to go through several more ups and downs on its way to maturity. But I can't stress enough that you need to get in on the action now, not later. Wait even a day or a week, and it could be too late. As of the recording of this video, Bitcoin has jumped hundreds of dollars per coin in just the last couple of months. And if you would have traded it, my secret sauce that I'm going to show you in complete detail, we're talking far more profit potential than that. That's the opportunity in front of us right now, and you don't want to miss out, or you'll probably be kicking yourself for the rest of your life. Another option is to walk away and take a stab at it on your own, spending months trying to figure it all out, wasting valuable time and money. Or you can join me at the Bitcoin Wealth Alliance and let me show you in detail the precise and exact steps you need to take to possibly become the next Bitcoin story that everyone else only hears about. That's all there is to it. So click the button right now and jump into the Bitcoin basics with full access to the rest of the Bitcoin Wealth Alliance resources and get started on the path to your financially secure future. I'd really like to see you on the other side. Click the button right now and get it all with my personal 60-day guarantee for just $37 with your discount. You could come back later and see that the price has doubled, or worse, that I've pulled it all down because I've taken on all the new students that I can handle, but I seriously wouldn't risk it. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So thanks for watching. Here's to your success, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside.